I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you so much. How about yourself?
Very good, thank you. I won't take up too much of your time, but I would love to hear about what you and your clinical team have been doing for the last, it's been decades, but given Recovery Day BC upon us, I was just wondering if I could clip you for a few minutes, just ask you a few questions, and allow you to speak your piece.
Thank you so much. Happy to do that.
We're going to be seeing Recovery Day. The BC Festival is going to be today, and that's in Uptown. Can you tell us what Recovery Day is all about and what you want people to know?
Well, Recovery Day first started back in 2012, September 30th. I remember I was part of that event. It was a very small event, and it's a display of freedom from addiction. And since then, the movement has spread throughout Canada, going into all small and large communities from east to west, and just coming together in the month of September to build awareness, challenge the social stigma, and celebrate the role that recovery plays in improving lives of millions of Canadians. As you know, addiction and mental health carries a lot of stigma, and if you go back in the past, people who were in recovery, they remained anonymous. They didn't want to talk about the addiction because the shame linked to addiction, not only shame, but if somebody knew that you had an addiction history or you struggled, you may not have a job or you may lose your family. So there was all this negative stuff around disclosing you are in recovery. But what the community has created here is really encouraging, supporting people to come out and speak about your recovery so others get inspired to get help.
I really appreciate that. That sounds so inspirational. But as you know, of course, we're in the midst of a fentanyl crisis that has only seemed to be getting worse in the toxic drug supply since 2015 or so. And given the fact that so many people are dying and it still seems quite highly stigmatized in a lot of ways, making the problem worse, what needs to be done now, given the fact that we're seeing the numbers trending upward? I mean, how has that affected the community, and how do they rise to meet such a crazy challenge?
Well, since it was declared 2016, and today the numbers are over 10,000 people, precious lives that have been lost. So this is a very important milestone where we are coming together again as a community to advocate for more resources to be allocated towards people who need help, not 2 months, 3 months, but need help now. Not only that, but those who are in recovery can actually share stories, so others who are on that path of addiction, using substances to medicate their feelings, being able to walk through their feelings to get tools so that they can make a choice or a life outside of substance use addiction. There are many pathways to recovery. Recovery requires collaboration. Recovery is a personal journey towards well-being. This is part of the Canadian Centre of Substance Use and Addiction. It outlines that recovery extends beyond the individual. It's multidimensional, and it involves everyone. So the whole province needs to come together under that one umbrella and work towards the goal of saving lives. Each life that we lose to an overdose is a lost life. So we need to save and we need to work together as a team.
And while that all sounds good, is there anything concrete that you really think needs to happen, like immediately, in order to help save lives as soon as possible, that government or other people can do in order to make that change as soon as possible? What specifically?
Well, the government is doing what they can, but we can do more, having more centers that can help. Like, we are a residential facility. We need more detox. We need more treatment beds. Not only that, but more physicians need to get education, awareness about how to treat addiction. In the past, I remember there's a lot of shame and stigma around this, and most of the doctors, I'm talking about 20 years ago, 30 years ago, they didn't want to see addicts in their office. This needs to change. We need to, often it starts with something very small, but then in a very short time, it can be a big, huge problem for the person. For example, somebody who starts using like opioids for the first time, the first little while is nothing, but then it becomes such a powerful drug that really kind of holds that person down. Without that drug, they cannot function. So it starts with something small, and I think there has to be a lot more education and awareness in the school system as well at a very younger age, educating the kids at a young age to walk through their feelings. It's all about feelings. When our needs are not met, when our feelings are not acknowledged, that's when we will hide. That's when we will withdraw. That's when we isolate. That's when we'll reach out to alcohol, to self-medicate. So it starts at a very, very young age. Over the decades, I've been working. I've come across many people where I've spoken to them. It starts at young age, like 10, 12, 14 years. That's very tender age. And that's where we need to start letting people know, the kids know, how they can be supported in walking through their emotions. It is about emotions at the end of the day. If you can resolve your emotions, you won't need drugs.
I think that's very well said. That's all that I had to ask you, and it's just, my heart goes out to all of the people that have been lost
Yes.
or going through addiction right now. It's an amazingly unfathomable journey for so many people to comprehend, but I'm glad that so many people are hopefully being able to communicate their stories and being able to work through their problems together. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. I really appreciate it. Best of luck today, and we always love hearing from you, Nirmala. Take care.
Yes. Well, you take care, and thanks for taking my call.
No problem. Thank you for speaking with us. Have a great day, and good luck. Bye now.
Bye-bye.